In these first three lines of code, we had the user input what kind of the required info for the code to run. In the first line, we had the user input the code of the building, so whether it's a residential, industrial, or a commercial building. And in the two lines that follow that, we have the user input the beginning of the meter and the end meter. We added an integer so that it would be able to recognize that it was a number. And then we added three print statements that it would just basically just show the use what kind of info the user input up here. And we added a new line statement so that it matched the sample run. And then we also added these format statements so that if the user input any meter readings that had like a leading zeros, they would be able to be shown within the print statement. And then we gave the water usage a value of 0 if the start meter and the end meter weren't within these ranges that were given right here. And if they were, then they would run through two different equations based on whether one was bigger than the other. And then if they weren't within the range, it would just print an invalid entry and the water usage would keep its value of 0. And after that, we gave the water bill a value of 0 if the type of building weren't if the user input a letter that wasn't an I, a C, or an R. And if they did input an I, it would run through these calculations right here based on whether if it was less than 4 million or in between 4 million and 10 million, or if it was over 10 million. And then we did the same for the commercial type building. So if it was less than 4 million, it would equal 1,000, and if it was more than 4 million, it would be multiplied by this number right here and then just add 1,000. And then we did the same for the R. So if the water usage, well, it didn't have any like requirements, but we would multiply it by this number right here and then just add 5. And then after that, when in between like each type of building, like code right here, we put an OR statement so that the code would be able to recognize whether it was an uppercase or a lowercase. And then if the user didn't input if it didn't input whether it was a commercial, industrial, or residential, then it would just print an invalid entry and the amount of water used would be a value of 0. The reason that we gave it a value of 0 was because sometimes if the user input like a meter reading that was valid, but the code wasn't like a C or an R or a I, the water usage would still be given like a value of something. But because since it wasn't given an I, a C, or an R, it would have to be an invalid entry with the water usage equaling 0. So that's why we gave it that. And then in these two lines down here, they're just the final lines which show the final format of the water used and then the bill. And then we gave it format statements so that it would print 2 decimal points after the decimal point. And then we put a $sign because the water bill and its money. So, yeah.
Hi guys, displayed on the screen is the program that we conducted for Project 2, and on the side right here we have 3 sample runs that we chose to do. So to start off, we chose to follow the rubric, or well, whatever you want to call it, that we were given in class. We were prompted to enter a customer's code, so we chose R, and then 4444000003, 4444000135. As an output, we were returned back the customer code that we inputted, beginning meter reading, ending meter reading, and then in return the gallons of water used and the amount billed. We formatted to where we would only be given 1 decimal point after the gallons used, and for the amount billed, we formatted as what a price would look like, with a $sign and only 2 decimal points behind it. Our second sample run, we decided to use a customer code that's not within the range of R, capital R, C, capital C, nor I, capital I. I think I said that part weird. But anyways, when we enter T, we will still be prompted to enter the beginning code reading, or the beginning water meter reading, and its ending. In return, we will get those printed back out, but since it was not within the range of the customer code, it'll be an invalid entry, and the gallons of water used and amount billed will both be shown as 0. Lastly, we chose this sample run. Once again, we followed the rubric. And those were our results. Those were our results. I said that so weird. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. And that's it.